Hello, welcome back. This is James Area from Axure. Today we're going to prototype a landing page for a website. The landing page is going to have login screen on it, and the user will be able to interact with our website basically to log into a particular page within the website. So we've opened Axure, and what we need to do, we need to just get a rectangle widget and stamp this y-axis and make this to be, let's just say 1000 now, and 1200, or let's say 1350 because I'm using bigger computer. All right, so we have that, and we will change the text to Roboto and remove the border. What we're going to do, we're going to change the page style as well. We set the page alignment to 0 to center, and we set the horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. And what we're going to be needing, we're going to be using back image here. We're going to be using the background image, and I have some couple of images that I've downloaded here, and we'll just use one that is we can just use any one. I think let's use let us use this London Bridge. All right, so we have this, and what we're going to now, instead of using this here, firstly what we need to do, we need to convert this to dynamic panel and call this background. And inside the dynamic panel, that is where we're going to add the back image, and we will set the alignment, horizontal alignment, vertical to center, and use the background image. So the background image, what we are using this London. All right, so then we will set this rectangle widget that we have, we set it to transparent, or we could probably, let's set it to transparent. We set this to transparent, and let's preview our page for now. We can see it's not looking good, but what we need to do, we need to go back to the page and say 100% wide for browser view only, and we will be able to see it full page. We have our background now. The next thing we need to do is we need to have our area where we're going to put our login. So I'll just put, firstly we need to have a little bit of header, so I'll put this header here, and we will have this header here. So I'll reduce this header to 70. We will remove the border of the header as well, and change the text to Roboto. Once we have that, we can convert this header as well to dynamic panel. So I'll just say header, and we will make use of that. We will set the back color as well to white. We will make this to stretch to cover as well, and we'll just save it. So when we preview it, our header is showing in the center for now, but we are going to make the header show as 100% wide as we have it as well. Before we can do that, we need to convert our page to a dynamic panel. So we have this done, and that is what we could do. We could probably bring this down, and we could copy the same thing and just name it footer, and we will put this at the center, at the bottom of the page. So we have this at the bottom of the page. Yep, and we can preview our page on our browser, and we can see we have the header, we have the body, and we have the footer. So what we need to do next, we need to add our login form on this page, and I'll just get another rectangle widget, and we will give it a bit of space. So let's make this. Alright, so we have this, and we will be able to say, let's give this corner radius, remove the border as well, change the text to Roboto, and we can start to design our login form. The first thing we need to do, we need to put an image or an icon that will serve as our logo. We can add a shadow to this image, and the next thing we can have, we can say my account, and once we have that, we can now put our username and password fields. So we can put one here, which is for password field, make it 50, or we could make it 60, or probably make it 65. So we could make it 65, and have this as username, and we can duplicate this and just change this to password. So the next thing we need to do, we need to add some couple of text. Here I'll just duplicate this text, and we will add this text, and we will add this text. So we'll move this a bit back downwards, and we will say this one is Roboto, and we can reduce this to, let's say, 20, and give it a bit of margin as well. You can make this 20 as well, and let's see the size of this one, 237. So we say 237, and we can align this to middle. So we have that, we change this text as well to Roboto, and we can change this to 16. We have this as 20, we can have this as 16, and we can just make this int a little bit lighter, so it doesn't look like the other one. Alright, so as we have that, what we need to do next, we can have another information here for user in case they forgot their username or they forgot their password. So we can say I forgot, and or we can say forgot username, and we can say here forgot password. So what we are trying to tell the user here is that they can interact with this link here and say if they forgot password. So we're just going to make this a little bit smaller, which is that, and we're going to unbold it. So we have this done. So we will align this together, align this as well. We can group this together, actually group these two together, and make sure everything we have here is fine. So that is what we need to do. The next thing we need to do, we need to add a button below. So we will add a button below, and say the button as well, we could give it the same size, which is 60. Is it 60? We say 65. We could call it 65 as well. And we can say here sign in. Change this text to Roboto. Roboto, and we can bold this and increase this to maybe 18. Then we could make this a darker color, and change the text to white and remove the border and give it a shadow as well. So we could give it a shadow, and we have this done. The next thing we need to get our checkbox, but there is a trick we're going to use because our checkbox is very difficult for us to actually increase the size. So the trick is to have a rectangle widget here. So I'll just put a rectangle widget here for now. And instead of having this checkbox, what we're going to do, we're going to remove it and create our own checkbox for ourselves. I'll make this 5. And what we will do, we will get a text and put it beside it and say keep me logged in. So we can make this center and then adjust it a little bit. So let's move this closer to the checkbox. So what we're going to do, we're going to have our own checkbox created ourselves, which is when the user click inside this checkbox, we will show a widget which we're going to include now. So the widget, what we are looking is we are looking for a widget of a tick asterisk, so a tick box. So let's look at a tick here. We are looking for this, so we're going to add this into this item, and I'll say okay. So what we're going to do now, let's reduce the size of this to probably 30. All right, so we have this. We can align this properly, make sure everything is okay. All right, we will convert I think we can just hide it. We don't need to convert it to dynamic panel. So we can just name this and say tick mark. Yep. So we have it as tick mark. So what we need to do, we need to bring this rectangle widget. We need to set it to transparent and bring it up. And we're going to add an interaction on this widget by going to widget and interactions and notes and say on click. So we say show and we say bring to front. The show is going to show the tick. So we say tick mark is going to show the tick mark, and we're going to say tick mark as well is going to bring that to front, and we show tick mark here, which is the front. We just remove this one, we don't need it. Then we have the first show tick mark and the first show tick mark, and we bring it to front so that once the user click on this item, they will be able to see that link instead of us using the checkbox that Axure provided for us, which is very difficult for us to increase the size. And we can just group all this together. We can group these two together and group this together as well. So we have this now. The next thing we need to do, we need to think about, okay, the user might have a Facebook account, and it's kind of relevant these days for everyone to have a Facebook account. So we can have another widget here and to add for another part which says don't have an account. So what I'm just going to do, I'll duplicate this and put it here and say don't have an account question mark. We will increase this, align it center, and we can duplicate this and just make another link and say create an account, which we're going to change this color to blue so that the user can know it's a link. And we could now make this, oh wait, we can just make it a link and they can link to the first page, and we can reduce the size of this to, let's say, 16, and we can unbold this so we have this icon and this icon, and we can align this together, make sure everything is aligned together. We can group this, then we can make this background color we can make this background color a little bit of we can just make it gray for now and remove the border. So let's bring it down a bit as well. So we have this. Yep. Now that we have this, let's lighten this a bit. I think it's too still dark. All right. Yeah, that's fine. The next thing we need to do, we need to add our Facebook login option. So I'm just going to add an horizontal line, and I will add a text which I will say or. So we are asking the user, it's either you have Facebook account or you create another account yourself, or you log in with Facebook. So I'll make this like this, and we can align everything together, group that, and then we can get our Facebook login. I'm just going to use any blue for now. We're not going to find the exact Facebook color, so I will say continue with Facebook. So how do we want the user to know? Again, we can get the Facebook icon using Font Awesome as well. So I'll go to Facebook icon and I'll just get an icon here and just give it a white icon, and we can increase this to, let's say, 45 or 55. Yeah, we have it 55, so we can just make this Facebook login. Now we have our icon here. We can reduce this color, we can change it, make it lighter a bit, and we have this color here. All right, so what we've done so far now, we've made sure our login page is okay. We can change the font here and make this, let's say, 35 or 40 actually. We can make it 40, make it a little bit bigger, and we can align, give it padding, and the logo we can, yep. So we have this login here, we have our username area and our password area, and we have this section. So I'm just going to bring this closer a bit. I'll group this together, and we will group this as well together. The reason why we are doing that is because so that when we try to distribute each of them vertically, then we will be able to see how each of them have the correct amount of space in between the two. So we select this. Actually, we need to group these ones together as well. So I've just moved this, and I'll group this together, and we will have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, and we have this. So I'm just going to distribute that vertically, and then no, we're not going to make it center. We're just going to save here and save. What we could probably do is to increase this a bit so that we can move this a little bit above. Okay, we could increase this as well again. Let's increase this a little bit. Okay, so now what we have here, we have this, we have this. Actually, I'm going to group these two together, so we have this 3, and then we can distribute them vertically, which is fine. So now we have our page. We can make sure everything is centralized, and we have that. Okay, so let's preview our page now and let's see how this login page is. So we have this login page, but we want to move it a little bit to the right hand side so that we can have a little bit of space at the left hand side to make something else. So what I'm just going to do is I'll select everything and we will convert it to dynamic panel, and I'll say login. Once we convert it to dynamic panel, then we'll be able to pin to browser and say make it right, and we can give it a margin of, let's say, 50, and we don't need to keep in front. We can just move it to the top and save that. So we have it at the corner here. What we could do, we could increase the margin a little bit, so we could say 250, and we can refresh the page, and we can see that we have actually moved it a little bit towards us. What we can do next, again, let's see if we can change the top margin. The top margin is always at default, so we can just move it here within our design, and we can have here. Alright, so we have this login page. Now we have the login, we have this username and password. What we could do is, instead of having that box, what we could do, we could make it horizontal line, and then we can hide the border. So I'll get an horizontal line, and we will put an horizontal line here. The horizontal line will be here. I'll ungroup all this for now. The horizontal line will be here. The horizontal line is here, and we can hide the border here. The password here, we've changed the password, so we can just give this a horizontal line of that, and we can make this as well the border. We've hidden the border, so we can just hide the border here. If we also want to make it look a bit okay, let's preview what we've done. We have here username, and we have here password. So what we can do here, instead of having my account here, we can say here username and password. So we have these two. So let's preview our page now. We have our username and our password, so the user can log in jamesoriol@gmail.com, and they can enter their password 123456. And once they click this checkbox here, we have this customized checkbox that we've designed ourselves. Instead of using the checkbox that come with Axure, we've developed our own. So what we need to do, we need to add some content maybe at the top for the header, and we need to add some content at the footer as well. Just a simple content will do, and also we can add a little bit of text at the center so that we can say to the user, welcome to company so, and then we can have that done. So let's go back here. So what we need to do, we need to add our text. I'll say we can say Roboto, and I'll say your award winning website, and we can say colors 07507272178. So we have that, your award-winning website, and we can make this Roboto as well. It's fine. What we need to do, we need to convert this to dynamic panel so we can move it to the other side. Or let us preview our page for now. We're gonna have it like this, but we don't want it. We want to arrange it properly. So let us convert this to dynamic panel, and we say on page text, and we can pin to browser, menu, we can say middle, and we can say the middle, we could say the margin should be probably 50, and I'll just make sure we have this here. We'll save this, and let's preview our page now. We have it stuck to the end here, so we're going to increase the margin, of course, increase it to, let's say, 250, and we will preview it again, and that should move our design back. Oh, it's moving it middle actually. So what we need to do, we need to we don't need to put it in middle actually. Let's leave it as 0 for the middle, remove the front part, click OK, and what we need to do, let's align it to the design here. We say middle, or we could put it at the top if we want. Our page as the store. Alright, let's select the 100% again. So let's save that, and let's preview our page again. Our text is not coming, so let's see why that is not coming. Let's remove the pin to browser for now, and let's just move it here. Let's minimize this, and then let's preview what we've done so far. Yeah, we have because we really do not have a lot of text to add on this page, you know, we can practically just leave it like that. We might actually not even have a text here, because what we are doing is a landing page for login. So what we could have at the end of the day is the background image can change to anything that you want to have as your background image, but the idea is to have the login page and the login screen in this corner. That's the most important thing, and we can prototype this place. We can, since we have a dynamic panel here, we can have the forgot password, forgot username. We can, you know, create an account. We can do all sort of interaction on this page, but the most important thing is we're trying to design a landing page for a login screen for a website. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question, leave a comment in the comment below, and I'll be glad to answer them. And also, I will see you in the next tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, of course, and you will get more videos as well. See you again in the next tutorial, and bye for now.